Welcome back. We're going to today take a look at the tax law recommendation in Canada here, the removal of the privileged status of advancement of religion. That's what they're recommending. We're going to take a look at that today. The recommendation is, it's called Recommendation 430, and it's a recommendation from the House of Commons here in Canada, the Standing Committee on Finance, to change the Income Tax Act here in Canada. And this recommendation would remove the special status of advancement of religion as a charitable purpose. And the explanation on this, the committee's recommendation is part of a pre-budget consultation process. The committee heard from many witnesses, including businesses, schools, and nonprofits. The committee also received hundreds of written submissions. The committee's recommendation echoes a written submission from the BC Humanist Association. The committee's report states that the tax policy can motivate taxpayers to engage in activities that are beneficial to society. And the CRA evaluates whether an organization that focuses on religion is advancing that religion according to charity law. And this is done by looking at the organization's activities and purposes. Now, for Jehovah's Witnesses, well, they'll be like Scientology. Scientology is not a charitable organization. It's not considered one. These are cults. Jehovah's Witnesses, again, another cult. All they do is advance their religion. They don't help the poor. They don't have soup kitchens like other religions. They don't build hospitals. There's no contribution of the donated money to help people of Canada. All that donated money is funneled back into New York, to Warwick, New York, and that's where the cult's headquarters are. We're going to take a look at this. My good wife put a summary together on email. I'll just open that up here. We'll read that together. The Recommendation 430, Redefining Charitable Purpose in Canada. The House of Commons, the Finance, recently included this recommendation in its Report 21. And this recommendation proposes amending the Income Tax Act to redefine the criteria for charitable status by removing the advancement of religion from the list of recognized charitable purposes. We're going to take a look at the list here right now. The current framework for charitable purposes under the Canadian law, charitable purposes are traditionally categorized into four groups. Number one, relief of poverty. Relief of poverty, number one. So when you think of it, which religious groups are out there helping to relieve poverty? Which charitable organizations? Well, the food bank. The food bank is non-denominational. It's a charity, and it's helping people, thousands of people daily that are in crisis. Relief of poverty. Sorry. Number two, advancement of education. Well, Jehovah's Witnesses do not believe in higher education. In fact, you will be deleted as an elder. You'll lose all your privileges if you allow your kids to go to higher education in the Jehovah's Witness cult. So they don't qualify there. They don't relieve any poverty. They don't qualify there. Now, number three, advancement of religion. This is the one they're going to remove. It's in there. And Jehovah's Witnesses slide in under that because they're building kingdom halls. They're going door to door. They're handing all their watchtowers out. They're on every street corner. They feel that they are advancing their religion. It was called a charity status at one time. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Number four, other purposes beneficial to the community. Now, they might claim that they do humanitarian aid, but they basically go in and fix up their own kingdom halls. We've read reports right out of the Elders book where if Jehovah's Witnesses don't have their people on the ground, which they never do, they do in a few isolated cases, but they're sending their people to the local food banks. And if the local food bank is run by a church and it's government run, they're saying it's okay. Just don't take the pamphlets, is what they're saying in the Elders book. Now, the advancement of religion, that category has historically allowed religious organizations to obtain charitable status. And this status provides tax exemptions that enables these organizations to issue tax-deductible receipts for donations. Now, the proposed change is that Recommendation 430 specifically calls for the removal of advancement of religion as a recognized charitable purpose, and if implemented, religious organizations would need to demonstrate that their activities fall under one of the other three categories to qualify for charitable status. So they'd have to, advancement of religion would be done away with, so they would have to qualify under relief of poverty, advancement of education. Maybe they would build some universities, like real universities, higher education, but they don't do that. Hospitals, they don't do that. Other purposes beneficial to the community, they have none. They pollute the street corners with their magazines. Lots of people take the magazines, fumble through them, they throw them on the street, and there's a big mess of watchtowers all over the street. Now, that's been a problem historically. When I was a JW back in the 80s and 90s and the 2000s, that's when there was no internet and we were using all literature. The streets were just flooded with garbage. Now, the proposed change calls for the removal of this advancement of religion. And the arguments for the proposal, the supporters of the recommendation argue, and state neutrality, public funds should not indirectly support religious activities. Like, we don't want our tax money going to support the Jehovah's Witness cult or any other cults that don't help people. We want to provide tangible public benefits, such as social services or education, rather than religious instruction or worship. And the arguments against the proposal, the opponents contend that the community contributions the religious organizations provide significant social value beyond spiritual guidance, including community building, charitable work, and support services for vulnerable populations. And financial viability, removing advancement of religion as a charitable purpose, could financially jeopardize many religious institutions here in Canada, potentially reducing their ability to serve in the communities. Now, the current status and the next steps. Recommendation 430 is currently a proposal. It has not been enacted into law yet, and any changes to the Income Tax Act would require further legislative debate, public consultations, and government approvals. And the references, the full text of the 21 report, Report 21, House of Commons Standing Committee on Finance, we have that. The Canadian Charitable Purpose Overview, we have that. We'll attach that. And the response from the Canadian Council of Christian Charities regarding the recommendations. And the organization and individuals connected to the religious charities are encouraged to monitor these developments closely, participate in public discussions or consultations on this issue. So here in Canada, if you can get involved, put your opinion in. I know I will be, and we can all work together to bring an end to allowing these organizations to run as charities, to evade taxes. They're basically criminal organizations laundering money into New York. And they're not transparent. If you go into Charity Canada, there's no transparency. They get F's and X's in all of the reports. So thanks again, folks. That brings an end to this part of it, the tax law recommendation 430 in Canada. We'll keep writing that. We'll see what happens. We'll keep reporting to you what the next steps are. So thanks again, and if you haven't subscribed, it'll help push these videos a lot farther, help grow our channel. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next video. And don't forget, keep living your day with love. That always works. Bye for now.